Hello everyone, hi, this is Kathy and welcome to the webinar this evening. It's great to have you here tonight, and can I just check that everybody can hear me okay? So I'm just checking on the screen. If you could type in the chat box, yes, if you can hear me, that would be great. And then I'll check who we've got on the call. So hi, we've got Nikki, and we've got Louise, Maria, Carola, Kim, Diane, hi, and we've got B, and we've got Jimmy. So hi everyone so far. We've got quite a few people registered, so I'm sure there'll be some other people joining as we go along. So there's a few more on now. Who else have we got? We've got, okay. So if you could write yes in the chat box, that would be awesome. There's a little bit of a delay between me speaking and you being able to and me reading what you've written, if you know what I mean. So if you could just write in when you've seen, when you can, when you've heard me, okay, just so that I know that all the sound and everything. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Louise. That's brilliant. Okay. Thanks, Nikki. Hi, Maria. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, well, I've had my usual technology interesting challenges today, so so I'm glad it's all going fine. Oh, brilliant, Diane. Thank you. Thanks everyone for letting me know. Fabulous. Okay, so I'm delighted that you're joining me for the webinar this evening on how to meditate your own way to success. And I've got a really great session for you over the next 75 minutes. So if you have any questions at all about anything during the webinar, do please pop them in the chat box and I'll do my best to answer them for you at the end. So as we're going to be meditating on the call together later, so I would recommend that you log out of your email and your Facebook, and anything that goes ping or rings basically, so just so that you're not going to get disturbed and you can really let go and fully receive most of what you can from the meditations. So let's see, I'll just check in to see who's on now. Okay, those will be coming through in a second. That's great. Right. Okay, so why you might be here for the webinar. Oops, sorry. Why you might be here tonight. Well, it might be because you want to know how meditation's going to help you perform better, because you see the top performers staying at their game, at the top of their game, and they use meditation to really help them do that. Maybe you feel like you do meditation, or you've tried meditation but you feel like you're doing it wrong somehow. Maybe you do meditate but sometimes you just get really frustrated with the noise in your head. And maybe you would just want to feel more peace and tranquility and clarity. Or that you want to find a way to meditate that really works for you, that you can stick to and really commit to. But let's hear from you. What do you particularly want to get from the call tonight? So if you just type in the box what your intentions would be, and we can take it from there. So my intention tonight is to free up any myths that you might have wrongly taken on surrounding meditation, so that you feel really comfortable and inspired to create a meditation practice that really suits you and that you'll want to commit to, because it's ultimately going to enhance your life and business success beyond a shadow of a doubt if you can really stick to it. And could you I just want to make sure that you can all see my slides okay as well. So if you can just let me know that everything's all as it should be and that you can see what I'm doing, that would be fabulous. Oops. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to be, I'll read those out as they come through. The delay is quite disconcerting. Anyway, I will come back to those to see what you're wanting to get from the call this evening. So please carry on typing. Oh, okay, Louise, she's saying she finds it very hard to switch off the chat in her head and the list making. That's interesting. Typical Gemini. Diane saying she wants to find an opening for meditation in her life. That's great. Thank you, guys. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so what we're going to be covering tonight. So first of all, I'll share a little bit about my meditation journey. Then I'll give you an overview of what meditation and mindfulness is, and the benefits. Plus, I'll bust a few myths that might have caused people to believe that they can't meditate or they're not doing it right. And I'll talk about lots of the different styles and techniques that are available, because there really are so many, and you're bound to find something that really works for you. I'm going to drop in some meditation tasters so that you can experience different styles of meditation. I'm going to let you know about how you can work with me further, because I'm going to let you know about my new program that's starting next month. And it uses lots of meditations and energy work to bust through your blocks to success, so that you can get aligned and attract much more abundance, more love, and more good health and happiness into your life. And at the end, there'll be one final meditation. And if anyone has any questions, then just stick around at the end and I'll stay on to answer anything. Oh, thank you, Diane. She's saying that my slides are fine and that I'm fantastic. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. Okay. So as we go through the session, you might want to take notes to record any awareness or action steps that you want to remember. So have a pen and paper handy or a journal. So for those of you who don't know anything about me, I call myself a spiritual business mentor. And what that means is I work with big-hearted, go-getting change makers. And usually they have their own businesses, or they want to start one where they can really make a difference and make money by doing what they love. And I've been on a spiritual journey for a long time. And it really started in a big way about 23 years ago, where although I had a degree in graphic design, I left the UK to head for Japan to teach English as a foreign language. And on that first trip out, I was so far outside my comfort zone that I had a kind of mystical experience on the plane. And it seemed like a miracle. And it opened me up to a much deeper level of consciousness and divine guidance than I ever knew was there, and than I'd ever experienced before. It was so profound that ever since then, it's been the focus of my whole life, really, to stay as connected to that consciousness as much as possible. So I've been following my inner guidance and my quest for understanding spiritual truth and how to live our potential as spiritual beings in human body all around the world. So I started off exploring Buddhism and Shinto in Japan and Nepal. I studied yoga and Vedic philosophy in India, and some native Indian practices in South and Central America. Shamanic work I've done, Wicca, Reiki, other energy work, healing, all kinds of different therapies, anything that crossed my path, really. And I just devoured books on spirituality and consciousness and neuroscience, energy and quantum physics, psychology. Whatever would help me understand our connection to this infinite power that's available to us, and also what we do in our lack of awareness as humans that stops us and it holds us back from reaching our potential. And at one point in my journey, I went out to New Zealand to help build and run a consciousness centre, which was all about personal and spiritual development and the discovery of your true self. And I did that for about 5.5 years, during which time I ran retreats and programs and workshops. And it was about helping people connect to the power of their hearts and their own inner guidance. And it was such a magical, magical time in my life. And I lived on a 550 acre valley property that was so remote that our own post box was 15 minutes drive away at the end of a dirt road. We had no mains electricity, everything ran on hydro. We actually lived by candlelight for the first couple of years. There's no TV or radio signal in the valley, and it was just total immersion in incredibly beautiful nature. And the land was also on the convergence of two ley lines, so it was such a powerful place. But the energy and intention there was all about transformation, so it was never a comfortable place. You know, things were always changing and they were always challenging. And I went from that out of the box place, you know, out of the box lifestyle, and I went back to like a normal life as a graphic designer. And eventually I came back to the UK about 10 years ago. And since then, I've worked for a high-end design consultancy. I set my own business up as a graphic designer. I created a women's personal and spiritual sort of transformation group, which was like a club where women would get together once a month to look at different topics that would help them grow, essentially. And I created a signature system called Brand from the Heart, which incorporates energy work along with practical branding and business guidance to design a business that's totally aligned with a person's highest potential. So that was sort of like bringing all of my bits together. And I created the Flow project kind of more recently. Just about this time last year, I started it came as a bit of a download, and it's a series of energy exercises and meditations that help you break through whatever's keeping you small or stuck or out of alignment in your life and business, so that you can find your natural flow, and so life becomes easier and more fulfilling. And all through my journey, meditation has just played an enormous part. It's been behind every major decision that I've made. All my creative ideas and inspiration come from it. The work I do with my clients uses meditation and energy work to help them clear and release blocks. And apart from all that, it just makes me feel so connected to the guiding force of this incredible creation that we're all part of. So it's really helped me find my joy and my true self, and to let go of the, I used to have a lot of fear and anxiety and worry, and it's really helped me let that go completely. So I know how life-changing developing a regular meditation practice is, and I really want to encourage you all to create this in your own life, because it will give you more than you can ever imagine. So my definition of meditation is that it's a way of deepening our relationship with the divine within us. But it's such a personal experience for everyone, so my definition might be different than how someone else would experience it. And there is no right spiritual or meditative practice. So for some, it's sitting cross-legged on a floor cushion, you know, in the more traditional sense of meditation. And for others, it might be being in nature or with animals. For some, it's gardening or doing something creative. Maybe it's movement and dance, yoga, connecting with the body in some way. Or it could be singing. It can even be like mindful colouring, or of course journaling. But the beauty of our spiritual practices is that they're ours to define, because they're tied so closely to our personalities and our beliefs and our lifestyle and what we need and want for ourselves. We get to decide what fits and what doesn't, and what we want to explore or play with, so that we can experience the divine in our own way. So because of this, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of ways to meditate. So what I've put together for you in this webinar kind of just scratches the surface of what's out there. But I'll share some of what I've experienced from 24 years of meditating, as well as touch on some other types of practice that you might want to explore for yourself. But hopefully the session will inspire you to either start or restart or just deepen your own meditation practice, because the benefits really are priceless. So what exactly does meditation do for us? Well, it helps us see who we really are as more than just our thinking mind, and it provides a way of gradually letting go of the false self that we've constructed through our stories and limiting beliefs. It's about developing awareness of our actions and our thoughts and feelings and of our emotions. And it's about understanding the nature of the mind and rising above it so we can find peace from that mental noise and a sense of clarity, a feeling of being really vital and alive. And some people, they say they do it to experience relaxation and calm, or it helps them with concentration. For others, they do it because they get a sense of happiness and positivity and well-being. And some might say it's their way to connect with the divine, to have a dialogue with the divine or their higher self, to find clarity and so on. And I think it's all of these things. When you practice it in a particular way, it can also be a really powerful transformation tool. And so just to clarify what I mean about that, there's so many things show up in life that are beyond our control. Things happen that we don't want or we don't like, we don't expect, and we usually have an unconscious way of reacting to those kind of things that show up. But it's possible to train our minds to react differently to these challenges, no matter what shows up. And that means that our results are different, and therefore our lives change for the better. Now, according to Buddhism, this is the most important work that we can do in this life, and it's the only real antidote to our own personal sorrows and anxieties and the fears and negativities and confusion that we go through, the general suffering that we experience as part of the human condition. And I really resonate with Buddhist philosophies and the techniques like mindfulness, because it teaches you the habit patterns of your mind, and you become aware that it's always your thoughts that are responsible for everything that you feel and experience in your life, positive or negative. And you witness how transient and inconsistent and limited and fickle the mind really is when you really observe it. So, and when you start to realize that, you tend to you start to give it less power or less importance, and more importantly, you realize that you have a choice about what you think and what you act on. And when you embrace these philosophies, they really help you see and accept what is in the present moment, so that you see things as they really are rather than how your mind wants them to be. And of course, that means when you do that, that you stop living in the past or the future or wishing for things to be different than they are, and you stop clinging to illusions and resisting the truth. It's incredibly liberating. And it's kind of like, I think this is a lovely analogy. It's like letting go of a cork that you've been holding down under the water. You know, to do that, to keep things down, it uses energy. And as soon as you give up that resistance and you allow the present moment to be there as it is, with all of its messiness and discomfort or whatever it is, you suddenly have a whole lot more energy available to focus into the other things that you really do want to create or experience. And the discomfort that might come up with it just doesn't last very long, and it's gone. And again, the discomfort, that comes from the mind as well. So, you know, there is such a lot to be gained from mindfulness and understanding these kind of techniques. So through consistent mindfulness practice, where you're noticing your thoughts and your feelings and your reactions objectively, it's like they're playing out in the foreground of your mind. And while you're doing that, you become aware that there's much more to you than the mind, that there's another you, like there's the observer observing the thoughts. So there's the observer in the background watching everything playing out. This is the witnessing consciousness. And as you develop your practice further, you begin to identify much more with that background, and you come to feel and realize that you are infinitely connected to this background, that it's part of you, and it's out of this where all the thoughts appear and disappear, and you just experience this operating sort of almost separately from you, And you start to really see how that you're not the limited personality structure that you believed that you were, which is incredibly powerful, you know, not to feel trapped by the cage of your mind. And it opens the door to all kinds of unlimited possibilities. So busting a few myths, because I wanted to put these in, because despite a lot of the proven benefits of meditation, many people are still a little wary. So before we go on, I thought it might be helpful to dispel these. So number one, I'm sure you all know this, but meditation is not a religion. Many people who practice meditation might be religious, and many religions incorporate some kind of meditative practices, but anyone can meditate, whether you're a member of a religion or not. Myth number two, you have to sit cross-legged on the floor. Now, many meditation practices might require you to sit like that with your back straight, or sit in a chair with your back supported. This is often a practical thing because there's still a certain amount of effort required to sit upright. So it helps you to keep awake and stay focused. And it also helps you to keep grounded in your body rather than leaving it, which other techniques focus on more, like astral projection and certain healing meditations or guided journeys. Those tend to require you to completely relax by lying down. And of course, you can bring mindful awareness to anything that you're doing in your daily life, like doing the chores at home or doing your work, driving while you're at the gym, walking to the office, you know, playing with the kids or out socializing. All of life can literally be a meditation because it's all about living with awareness from one moment to the next, which kind of also addresses myth number three, that all meditation and mindfulness practice takes up a lot of extra time. It doesn't need to. This, you know, when you're living mindfully, that is a practice in itself. I feel connected most of the time, and I can notice when my mind is running amok, so I don't fall into it, and I don't lose consciousness too much these days, unless there's a big shift happening and I've allowed myself to get stressed and overwhelmed, which does happen. But it took me a lot of practice to get to this place. And it's like anything that you want to master, whether it's a sport or learning a language or an instrument or something, you know, getting an untrained mind under control, it requires patience and persistence. And during that learning process, you'll have those days where it feels really easy and other days where it just feels utterly frustrating and difficult. And of course, connecting with your inner guidance does require you to, you know, disengage from mental noise too. So if it's important to you, whatever meditation practice you choose, it's more about making it a non-negotiable part of your daily life, not an extra thing to fit in. Every morning I leap out of bed at, well, most mornings at 5:15, and I love heading off to my meditation cushion, and I do sit there for like 1 to 2 hours doing my practice, and I might even meditate later in the day, depending on what I'm doing, because I love it. But you know, that's just me. I teach this stuff, so of course I do more of it. I create meditations and go through them myself so that I know that they work when I share them with you. But you might just find that 10 minutes a day will make a huge difference. But you know, when you have that regular practice and you start to notice the benefits, you'll wonder how you ever got on without it, because it's when you do it, it can feel like going home. So myth number 4, meditating properly means you have to empty your mind of all thoughts. There's a spiritual teacher called Dr. David Hawkins, who's the author of Power versus Force, and he was a brilliant teacher of consciousness. And he said in one of his discourses that it's impossible to empty your mind of thoughts, and that's not the point of meditation anyway. But it is the reason why most people quit and decide that they can't meditate. When you're in a true meditative space, you're not making any effort, and you're not engaged with your thoughts. You experience this space in all kinds of ways when you're just enjoying the moment, and when you're fully engaged in just pure being or doing what you love. and so that your heart's wide open and you feel that expansive feeling of joy and lightness. And it's when you do that that you kind of merge with the field of pure consciousness and you lose your separate small identity. And from there, your thoughts naturally slow down and have less power to distract you. And that can be, you can achieve that in, you know, all kinds of different ways, doing when you're engaged in activities as well as actually, you know, doing classical sort of meditation practice. Oops. And here's a great quote from Deepak Chopra. So meditation is not a way of making your mind quiet, it's a way of entering into the quiet that's already there, buried under the 50,000 thoughts the average person thinks every day, which kind of just sums it up perfectly. And myth number 5, I've heard this before, people think this before, it makes you passive so you don't go for your goals. And then they say it's a waste of good time, and that, you know, taking action rather than sitting on your bum meditating helps you accomplish your goals and makes you more successful. But that's a really ignorant viewpoint, and it crashes completely when you learn that the majority of really highly successful people in whatever field they're in pretty much all claim to have a meditation practice that helps them let go of the non-essential thoughts and gives them clarity and an ability to make decisions with more certainty and take wiser and more considered action to change those things that need to be changed. And meditation helps cultivate a really deep and compassionate awareness that allows you to feel into and assess your goals and desires and find your true path towards realizing what your greatest potential is. As I mentioned earlier, there's infinite ways to meditate. So, and here are just a few of them. So, and it really is just a bird's eye view of a few. There'll be loads that I'll have missed out here, just for the sake of time. So the first one is mindfulness. This is the practice of intentionally focusing on on the present moment, accepting and non-judgmentally paying attention to all those sensations and thoughts and emotions that arise. And it can be practiced in lots of ways. So for the formal practice, you'd sit on a cushion on the floor or in your chair with your back straight, and you just pay close attention to the movement of your breath, or you might pay attention to the sensations and the thoughts and the feelings that arise. And the effort here is to not intentionally add anything to that present moment experience, but just to be aware of what's going on without losing yourself in anything that arises. Now, your mind's going to get distracted by sounds and sensations and thoughts, and whenever that happens, the purpose is to just to bring your gently recognize that you've been distracted and just gently bring your attention back to the breath, or to observing those thoughts again from that objective perspective, as if they're separate from you. Because there's a big difference between losing yourself inside the thought or the sensation and simply just being aware of its presence. And there's also the practice of mindfulness during our daily activities. So for daily life meditation, the practice is to pay attention to what's going on in the present moment, to be aware of what's happening and not living in automatic mode, which we do most of the time. You know, if you're speaking, that means paying attention to the words you're saying and how you're saying them, and listening with presence and attention. And if you're doing the chores or you're out walking, that means just being more aware of your body movements and the physical sensations, your feet touching the ground, the detail that you can see around you, the sounds that you're hearing, the smells on the air. Something I really love to do in the summer is to go barefoot walking on the common near me for like 20 minutes every morning when the dew's still on the grass, feeling the sensations through my feet and in my body, and walking really slowly, listening to the birds, smelling the grass that and you know, there's just the plants and the trees, listening to the winds, connecting with the earth, and just letting all my thoughts pass through my mind like water passing over the lip of a waterfall. Because it takes your body it takes you into your body, so it's really grounding, and the energy just seems to drop out of your head, giving you real space in your mind and leaving you much clearer and much more peaceful. But you know, things like mindful dance and yoga and Tai Chi, they all bring you into the present moment in your body with similar benefits. So the next one is Vipassana. Now, to do this meditation, you first need to attend a 10-day silent Vipassana training course at a specialist centre before you get the benefits of practicing yourself. Now, I could talk about this practice for the whole webinar, really, because it's I've done it twice now, and it's such an incredible thing to experience. This is what I practice every day without fail, and it will transform your life without question. But it is, when you do it, it's 10 days of silent practice, meditating 10 hours a day and starting at 4 AM, and you're living like basically a nun or a monk. You're not talking to anyone, there's no eye contact, you're not allowed to write, there's nothing to read. It's very strict, and it's like boot camp for the mind, because your mind, you really start to see your mind, how your mind reacts to things and has its own agenda all the time that's not the same as who you are on the inside, if that makes sense. But in the practice, it trains you not to react to pain or to crave more pleasant experiences. So you end up accepting the moment as it is without resistance, and that means that when the inevitable challenges of life come your way, you don't get derailed into negativity and fear. You accept that everything's impermanent. So, you know, if you're going through a difficult patch in life, you know intrinsically that it's going to change, and there's a real relief in that. And you develop a much better patience. You can allow life to unfold and find ease in the natural flow, rather than try and force change the whole time. Because that used to be such a big problem for me. I'd always be like, this isn't happening fast enough, and I'd be pushing, and you know, that's really exhausting and it's frustrating. So that's something that has completely changed for me since I did it the most recent time, and it has totally changed my life since. It helps you experience reality as it really is, and not how you want it to be. And because it's only, you know, from a point of real truth that real lasting peace and happiness can be found. You can read more about Vipassana on my blog. If you go to my website, it's kathyballard.com, because I've written quite a long article there about all the things that I went through. So the next type of meditation I'm covering here is loving kindness. This is also from the Buddhist traditions. It's known as also metta meditation. It's a closed eye meditation where you generate in your heart and mind feelings of kindness and benevolence towards yourself and then towards all beings. And you usually recite words silently in your mind that evoke a real boundless, warm-hearted feeling, sending love and wishing happiness and peace to yourself and others. And this is really interesting because there's so many documented, scientifically measured benefits, such as like boosting your ability to empathize with others, increasing social connection, developing positive emotions through compassion, developing a more loving attitude towards yourself, increasing self-acceptance, generating a greater feeling of competence about your life and a sense of purpose. It's healing, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, and it also really decreases stress. And then the last point, which I thought was quite funny, is they claim it to be anti-aging, because it's under a microscope they've noticed that it decreases the destruction of certain parts of the chromosomes that are the biological markers of aging. So you could chuck out those expensive anti-aging creams and just get on your meditation cushion. So, and again, I do a few minutes of this every morning because they tagged it on to the end of the Vipassana training, and it's just something that it feels lovely, and you know, it really just puts you in your heart and starts your day off great. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of this later on so that you can experience it for yourself. So yoga meditation. Now there's so many different individual meditations that can be found connected to yoga, including, you know, bringing attention through the chakras and chakra balancing, or mantras such as like repeating sacred sounds like Om, or a gazing meditation, which is where you fix your gaze on an external object, like typically a candle or an image, or sometimes like a symbol, like a mandala or something. And so it's done with, firstly with eyes open, and then after that sort of that image is imprinted on your mind, you close your eyes and you use your visualization. There's also body scanning, and this is often, in yoga, this is known as yoga nidra, and it's often used with guided imagery to access a really deep sense of relaxation and calm. But there's loads and loads more. Then there's Taoist meditation, and Taoism is a Chinese philosophy and religion. The chief characteristics of this type of meditation is the generation, transformation and circulation of inner energy, your qi. And then the purpose is to quieten the body and mind and unify body and spirit and find inner peace. Some styles of Taoist meditation are specifically focused on improving health and giving longevity. Qigong is like it's a body-mind exercise for health and meditation and martial arts training, and it typically involves slow body movement and inner focus and regulated breathing. And traditionally it was actually practiced and taught in secrecy in the Chinese, Buddhist and Taoist traditions in the 20th century. There are still some, I read about this a few years ago, that there's still some very powerful versions of Qigong that are outlawed by the Chinese government because they see it as a threat. So, you know, we are very powerful when we know what we're looking for and we work with the right kind of practices. So visualization and guided meditation. This has become ever more popular in modern times, obviously because we can access recordings and listen to any manner of guided meditation to help us through any and every issue that we might be struggling with. And you only need to go to Amazon or YouTube to find something that someone's created to serve a specific purpose. And then there's meditation music. Music's usually to help you relax and just reach a really peaceful place. More recently, there's binaural beats used for meditation. These help you synchronize your brain waves to a frequency that's similar to those reached in deep states of meditation. And then, of course, a much more traditional way of meditating is drumming. Obviously, this is used, you know, for Native American Indians, and I know that you do Reiki drumming, there's shamanic drumming, there's all kinds, but again, it puts you into a sort of trance state so that you can access different kind of, you can use it for journey work and just to really help you relax your body, all kinds of different ways, depending on what your intention is. We've got affirmations, and these are usually coupled with relaxation and guided imagery. And the purpose of these meditations is to imprint a message in your mind, or, you know, to transform your unconscious mind. And one of the most powerful types of meditation is self-inquiry, or it's also known as I am meditation. And in a nutshell, this is about experiencing the truth of who you are as the divine spark of consciousness, so that you move beyond the ego to the subjective feeling of being source energy, pure consciousness, beyond any labels or roles. And the last one I'll mention is this is what I call transformational meditation, which is the work that I do for myself and my clients. And so what I've created is a mixture of mindfulness to develop acceptance of the truth in the moment. It increases your awareness to the sensitivities in the body, and it helps guide your intuitive knowing. And it's also got guided meditation in, where you connect with your heart so that you can see your true path and your desires with clarity. And you experience yourself as infinite consciousness. You access that full creative power of the universe to really empower those visions. So, and the last part of it, really, because it really does seem to encompass all of the things that or a lot of the things I've talked about, is you direct energy around your body with intent, and that really helps you heal and release energetic blocks to fulfilling your potential. And the process really changes you to align with the natural flow of life. It's really powerful stuff, and it works very fast. And someone posted this the other day, a couple of days ago, who'd taken part in the Flow projects that finished 3 or 4 weeks ago. So what she said here is, you know, she hadn't done anything different, but she'd set an intention to have more clients, and suddenly had an overflow, and that she didn't know what to do with them all. And the only thing that was different was having done the Flow projects. And I've had heaps and heaps of similar kind of messages from people. So, you know, those are just a few of the possibilities that can happen for you. So those are all the different ways of meditation that I've kind of put together for you tonight. The best thing to do, I would say, is to do a course, or to learn with someone, to somehow train, so that you get into a habit. That way you'll get the most from it, and then commit to it. Commit to a practice that really works for you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few practical exercises now. First of all, just we're going to do straightforward, unguided meditation for a few minutes, and I'll start you off with that. And after that, I'll bring you out, and we're going to go into the mindful eating one. So when I sent out emails and put posts up, I mentioned to you to have something to hand, like some piece of fruit or something healthy that you could eat, so that you can experience the conscious eating. So just have that ready. But in the meantime, get yourself nice and comfortable in your chair, and we'll do a meditation. So close your eyes and just sit there with your back supported, your back straight, and your feet flat on the floor. And just start to follow your breath. So observe it coming in and out of your body. Feeling your body move around your breath. And feeling the sensations of the breath going in and out of your nostrils. And as you observe, just notice how your breath is actually breathing you. You don't have to make any effort. The breath comes in effortlessly, and it fills your lungs until it reaches a natural pause on the top of your breath before gently emptying out of your lungs. And again, there's a natural pause at the bottom of your breath. So just continue to observe this natural breath, your breath breathing you. Don't force anything. And if you notice any thoughts or feelings or sensations distracting you, don't worry. As soon as you notice that you've stopped following your breath, just bring your attention back and let those thoughts slip away. And if your thoughts are really busy, maybe you've been having a really busy day and it's hard to let go, and they keep tugging at your attention, don't try and push them away or resist them. Just allow them all to pass through your awareness, as if you're viewing a movie. So watching the thoughts being projected onto the screen in front of you, but not letting yourself get caught into the story, drawn in. And just be aware of how your thoughts rise into and then pass out of your awareness. But they're separate from you. They're separate from who you are. And just sit there and observe whatever shows up in your mind. Every thought being equal. And if you do get pulled in and you start following your thoughts, again, just gently bring yourself back. Be the observer again. And bring your awareness back to your breath and back to the present moment. So continue with this meditation just for a few minutes in silence, and I'll bring you back very soon. Okay, so just gently come on back. Feel yourself in your body. And just notice how you feel in your body and your mind. Take a few slightly deeper breaths. And open your eyes again when you're ready. Now I know that was a really quick taster. You've kind of got the gist now. You can potentially go back over this recording after and just allow that to extend and replay that part. But next, I'm going to take you through this fun little exercise of mindful eating. So, as I said, you should have probably a little piece of fruit, which would be ideal, or something, anything healthy would be good to try for this. So, and the purpose of this is that Most of the time, we don't take time observing and paying attention to all the sensations around us during our day. We do sort of live on autopilot, and mindfulness really helps you break out of that and become aware. So first of all, reflect on how much time do you usually spend eating a meal? You know, how much do you really take time to enjoy it and notice it and use all your senses to really experience it? So most of the time, our fast-paced lifestyles, they mean that we forget to enjoy those small moments and forget to appreciate even the most simple things like eating. So let's start by, first of all, picking up your piece of fruit or whatever you've chosen that you want to eat for this exercise. And just start by sitting with it in your hands. And imagine that you've never seen this type of fruit before, this type of food. Notice how it feels. Is the surface smooth? Is it bumpy? Is it rough? Is it cool or warm to the touch? Is it heavy or light? Is it solid? Is it soft and squishy? Now, how does it feel in your hand? Just take all those sensations in. Now, notice the colour and the shape of it. Is it predominantly or one colour, or is it lots of different colours? Has it got markings on it? How does the light reflect on the surface of it? So just take in all the detail that you can see. And now lift the food close to your face. And what does it smell like? Is it strongly fragrant? Is it mild? Does it smell sweet? And does it smell spicy? Maybe fresh, earthy, maybe floral? Now allow your mouth and tongue to gently taste the food or touch the food. How does it feel against your lips and your tongue? Is it hard or soft? Does it have a wet or a dry texture? And now slowly take a bite of the food. How does it feel in your mouth as you chew on it? Does it melt in your mouth or does it hold its structure? Is it quite dry or does it release juice? And how does it feel to bite down on it and move it around your mouth with your tongue? And allow yourself to keep the food in your mouth just a little longer than you normally would to fully experience this food. And notice how it feels. Is it easy to do this, or do you feel like an urgency to swallow it straight away? And notice the saliva in your mouth. Notice how your mouth and your tongue feels. And now swallow the food and notice how it feels as you follow its journey down into your belly. Now, is the taste still in your mouth after swallowing? Can you feel it in your stomach? Just take a moment to reflect before you take another bite. And for each bite that you take, allow yourself to be mindful about every little sensation, every little thing. Notice what passes through your mind. Notice how it feels to slow down so much to eat like this. What did you notice that you've never noticed before? Okay, so those are just a couple of different examples of meditation. And of course, they're just mini meditations to play with to open your awareness. In a short while, I'll share one last meditation that, as I was saying before, research has really shown the benefits of this, from personal well-being and happiness to really giving relief from illness. This is the loving kindness meditation. But before I do that, I'd just like to take a few minutes to let you know about my new flow alignment program that's starting next month, which incorporates a lot of transformational meditation that I was talking about before, as well as, you know, the mindfulness and energy work to help you find alignment with your true path and bust through the blocks that have been keeping you stuck. So I hope that's okay with you. Oops, that's the slide for the last one. So, first of all, what I'm going to talk about, it won't be right for everybody, and I know that's absolutely okay. I do hope you've all managed to get some takeaways from the session tonight so far that's inspired you and motivated you to embrace meditation in your daily life. But this is for you if you're ready for a breakthrough, because you know the success you want's within reach, but something maybe has been holding you back, or you want to attract more money and abundance and other opportunities like amazing clients, or find greater life balance by spending less time working and more time doing the things that matter to you. Maybe you want to reinforce your spiritual connection with your intuition, or you want to get much more aligned with the flow of life rather than fighting it. And all of that, of course, it brings you so much more joy in your life. So if this resonates for you and you're ready to take steps to get the breakthrough that you've been waiting for, then I have something that I think you're going to love. It's my Flow Alignment 30-day intensive, and it's a small group coaching experience. It's going to be running on Wednesday evenings from 7:30 p.m. UK time, starting on Wednesday the 13th of April. And how this will help is going for your dreams and following your heart. It takes courage, because as soon as you set an intention to do that, the universe will start to bring you situations that will trigger the fears, holding those limiting patterns in place so that you can finally clear them and be free of them. But that's an uncomfortable ride. And, you know, because your ego is going to unconsciously avoid feeling the discomfort, it's always going to try and sabotage you. And that's what keeps you from your desires, and it keeps you sort of frustratingly on the wrong side of a breakthrough. So this program, it's to help you stay focused on what you want, no matter what, rather than let yourself be distracted by the head talk that's going to try and, you know, talk you back into that safe, familiar place. So you're going to learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you're going to develop powerful personal habits that's going to raise your base vibration level, so that when those challenges do come up, you have the resilience to deal with them much more effectively. And you're going to learn where your energy is being drained by other dramas and situations in life, so that you can refocus it into what you do want, and you'll be able to release deeply hidden old programming and energetic blocks and barriers to aligning with your flow. Plus, you'll end up experiencing how powerful and unlimited you really are. You'll know your power. And how this is going to work is it's a mixture of one-to-one time and group work, which means in our individual sessions, we can go straight to the heart of the blocks that you can't see and start clearing them, so that it makes way for you to attract what you do want in life. Plus, you'll have the support of the group to inspire and encourage you, and where you can share your challenges and successes as they come up through the transformation process, and hold each other accountable to your intentions. And each week there's going to be a different topic of focus, so you'll get really clear about what you want in your life and your business, and you'll feel excited and inspired and aligned. You'll explore and gently start to push at your edges, so identifying where your flow is blocked and how to restore it by eliminating those energetic blocks and limiting beliefs. So this is about meeting your resistance. We'll be looking at creating conditions for manifesting, which is a looking at how to keep your energy high as you go through this transformation process to make sure that you're supported on every level, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And claim your value, know your worth is about exploring your story, understanding your purpose, and delving into the uniqueness of who you are, so you can appreciate the value that you bring to the world. And you'll be tapping into the part of you that can freely play outside the cage of your mind, where there are no limits to what's possible, which will really increase your joy. And that's much more about sort of connecting with the inner child that never learnt to get serious and think that things couldn't be done. So the nuts and bolts of the program, what's included? It's a small intimate group with a maximum of 8 people in a 30-day container, and it's small so that everyone gets personal attention and a high level of support from me. It's long enough to install new habits and get life-changing breakthroughs, because you'll have learned some tools and techniques and gained a new perspective for life, which you can also take away. And it's short enough for you to handle the intensity as you go through the shifts. There are 2 60-minute one-to-one flow alignment sessions with me. So these are powerful, intuitive energy sessions where the programming that's keeping you stuck will come to the surface to be cleared. There'll be 5 live group coaching calls. There'll be approximately an hour and a half, based around the theme of the week. And these will be like guided meditations that will help you get more insight. There'll be Q&A time for everybody. And if you can't make it live, you can just send your questions in and listen to the recording to catch up. You'll receive all of the Flow Project audios, which was the transformation program that I was talking about earlier. I know that some of you went through the Flow Project, so you'll get to keep all of those. And you get the Flow Alignment Audit. And this is a guided meditation and a set of reflection questions that really help you get clear about where you want to take your life and business and where your flow is blocked. And of course, there'll be the private Facebook group. So the fee for all of this, if I were to break it down, it would come to £1,522, and the selling price is £547. But because I really want to remove as many barriers for people to doing this powerful inner work as they can, so that they can see how truly powerful we all are and shine our lights. And so I've created an early bird price of just £397, which is available up until midnight on the 31st of March. And that saves you £150, which you can pay in one single payment, or if it's easier for you, you can pay in 3 instalments of £150. And as an extra bonus, when you sign up, I'll also give you my Brand from the Heart online home study program. That's worth £197 as well. And that's, as I mentioned before, it's a series of modules that connect you with your heart and take you deeply into yourself, giving you clarity about how you want to express yourself and your unique business in the world through your brand. And it's kind of like a mixture of energy work and meditations with practical business and branding guidance. Now, I have only got 2 spaces left on the program, and I would love to fill it this evening. Plus, I know what it's like when someone feels like it's, it feels really right at the time, but the ego part of us can sense too much change in the pipeline, and so it talks us out of something that could have been really good. So if you feel that this is right for you, I've got a special fast action bonus of an additional one-to-one flow alignment session to help you make the decision to sign up tonight if this feels right for you, and that's worth £150 as well. And if you know that this is your time to do some really deep clearing in your life and business and release the energetic blocks and limiting beliefs that are keeping you small and stuck, there's an optional half-day deep dive transformation session available when you book onto the program. And this would normally cost £800, but I'm giving a special program price of £497. So you get to save £303 here. So to make payment, you need to just go to this website, kathyballard.com/30-day-flow-alignment. and I will put that in the chat box later, so you can copy and paste if you want to. And you'll be able to find PayPal buttons there for ease as well. And I'll show you the slide at the end. So just as a reminder, there's a maximum of 8 people on the program, and there's just 2 places left. So if you do know that this is for you and you want to get started soon, don't wait until the last minute to register. Once you've, if you pay now, your place will be held on the program, and I'll contact you for a brief chat just to make sure that we are a good fit. And if either of us feel it's not right, you will get a full refund. So this was one of the ladies from the last program, Alicia, and Alicia went through some amazing changes. She really understood about being comfortable with being uncomfortable, and the fears that came up and being able to move through them. And as she said, you know, she said it's fair to say it's simply been life-changing. And this is the lovely Carol Boskert, and I've done quite a few sessions with Carol outside of this program as well. But you know, on this program, she came in to sort her money stuff out, and she said that within, you know, just a few weeks, the flow of clients just started coming, which is amazing. I'm so pleased for her. So if you want to take part in that, I will put the slide up again at the end. But I want to give you now just one last meditation. So this is going to be a loving kindness meditation. And so what I want you to do here is it's going to be a closed eye one again, and it will probably go for about 10 minutes. So just put your feet flat on the ground. Feel yourself comfortable in your chair, and close your eyes when you're ready. And just start to notice your breath. Notice your body moving around your breath. Feeling yourself sinking down. And just notice as you sink down and you feel that connection with the earth through your feet, imagine that you have roots that are reaching right down into the center of the earth, holding you and grounding you there, keeping you very present in the physical, in your body, so that you feel really supported and held, very connected. And at the same time, imagine that above you that there's a beautiful, vibrant light, like a sun, beaming its energy down onto you. And you imagine that the crown of your head is opening up to receive this energy, and feel it moving down through your head, down through your forehead, down, relaxing all the muscles around your eyes and in between your eyebrows. Feel it moving down through your face. Feel it relaxing the back of your head, your brain. Feel it moving down your throat. Feel it pouring into your shoulders and flowing down your arms, into your elbows, into your lower arms, and your hands and fingers. And just feel the light moving, flowing down your chest, down through your heart, your solar plexus, and into your belly, down into your hips and thighs. Feel it moving down through your legs, plus your knees, into your lower legs, into your ankles, and into your feet. So now your whole body is connected above and below. And you're nice and relaxed. And now just put your focus into your heart. And I just want you to imagine that there's someone in front of you that you know really well, who you really love, and that who loves you. There's a real warmth and kindness and respect and appreciation that you share with each other. I just want you to imagine that you're looking at them, gazing into their eyes, sharing that love that you have for them, and wishing them well from the bottom of your heart. Wishing them peace, wishing them well-being. Wishing them happiness. And just pour all the love from your heart into them, knowing that it's constantly filling up from above, pouring out through your heart into this person that you love standing in front of you. And you can see their energy change. You can see them glowing as they receive your love. Now imagine that they're sending it back to you, that they're gazing at you with loving eyes, with kindness. They're wishing you all the best in the world, all the good fortune, all the best health. They're wishing you free from any pain and suffering. They're wishing you all the joy in the world. They're wishing you all the love, all the care, all the well-being. And imagine that you're receiving their energy, filling it up, filling your heart. And imagine as it's filling your heart, imagine it filling your whole energy field. So seeing the love in their eyes being transmitted to you. Knowing how much they love you, how much they want the best for you. Knowing how much you are loved unconditionally. They know everything about you. They love it all the same. Okay, now let that go. And with this feeling in your heart, imagine that it's turning into light. And imagine that this light is moving out through your body, out into your energy field. And it's shining brighter and brighter, breathing out into your heart, feeling it growing even bigger, filling the room that you're in, moving out, growing even bigger till it's as big as the whole town or city that you're in. Feel it moving out so it's bigger than the whole region that you're living in, bigger than your country where you live. And feel it now growing bigger than the planet, so that the whole planet is completely enveloped in your light, in your love. And imagine sending out love to all beings. And just repeat these words silently in your mind. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free from pain and suffering. And each time you say it, really connect with the feeling of the words and the intent. May all beings share my happiness. May all beings share my peace. May all beings share my harmony. May all beings share my love. May all beings share my joy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free from pain and suffering. And now gently bring the energy slowly back in towards you, back towards your energy field, just so that you're sitting in your energy field. And just notice now how you feel after that meditation. Notice how you feel in your body. Notice how you feel in your mind, in your heart. Notice your breath. Has it changed? And just take a slightly deeper breath now and just start to bring yourself back. Feel yourself in your chair, in this room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So, hopefully everybody's already come back. Just writing the URL for the web address. Getting it wrong. Okay, everybody. So how is everybody doing? How are you feeling now after that meditation? You want to let me know by typing in the box. I'd really love to hear how you got on. Also, the other two meditations, or anything that you think you'll take away from tonight. What kind of meditation sounds like it would be something you'd want to explore? Who's keen to do Vipassana? As I said, it's not for everybody, but it is such a life changer. If you can give yourself that gift of 10 days out to do that, it's just phenomenal what it can do. Oh, great, Diane. I've inspired you to do the silent retreat. I'm so proud of you. Also, that's fantastic. You're waiting for confirmation of your place. Oh, I see. I did in the past. Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. So you've already applied. That's even better. Louise. Oh, great. So you loved the last meditation, feeling completely relaxed and calm and at peace. And your inner voice actually sat down and shut up. So you'll be doing that again. Well done. That's fantastic. That's great. It is really good when you know, when you find those pockets of complete sort of connection and peace from the chatter, here is, you should be able to get the URL. I've just put that in the chat box. Oh, good. Sandra's feeling all loved up. Wonderful. Anyone else? How are you feeling? What kind of meditation do you feel inspired to do? Or tell us what you do already. What works? What you know, what challenges that you've had, and what you'll take on board from tonight. While I'm waiting to let's see if you've got any more comments. It's slow to bring them through. As I said, you can go to kathyballard.com/30-day-flow-alignment to find the web page to book onto the course, or you can email me at kathy@kathyballard.com and you know, drop me a line if you've got any questions, or if you've got any questions about anything really. If you want to know more about how to get back into your flow, or you want some guidance around different meditation techniques, anything, just let me know. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. So Maria's saying that she wants to do more of the loving kindness meditation. That's great. It's a really simple one to practice on your own in the morning. When you do that, and it just starts your day off great. And you know, remember all those benefits, particularly the oh, I don't really believe in anti-aging products, but you know, it's the way that you feel, and the compassion that you, and the empathy that you feel for other people. And you know, for me, it makes me feel much more connected with people. So you know, give it a go. You'll really love it. Oh, hi Jeanette. Jeanette's in as well. Jet's in the house. It's just what she's saying. It's just what she needed, to send all her love to someone who's hurting her right now. And you do feel comfortable to be uncomfortable. That's fantastic. Awesome. Yes, I mean, that's such a powerful thing to be able to accept. Yes, definitely. And there's, oh, and I can see half of somebody's posting because of the way my webinar platform is, that somebody has said, I think, I'm guessing that the first half of the sentence probably says that you really get that it's important to see how things are as they really are, rather than how you want them to be. And I can't quite see who's written it because it doesn't scroll down. But thank you for that. I think that's a really powerful one, and that is the key takeaway actually from Vipassana, or one of them. There's so many. So if you've got no more questions, then I'm going to log off for now. But I've really enjoyed sharing this with you. This I think putting this together really showed me how passionate I am about meditation, and you know, what a big transformation in my life it's been, and also how much I actually know about it and have experienced. So I'm feeling very inspired to kind of do more of this. So watch out for more, and I will see you all again very soon, no doubt. So thank you everybody for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon. So bye for now.